Hello guys, my name is the Polish Gamer and welcome to another album review. Yes, another review of a record from everyone's favorite Canadian punching bags, Nickelback. But actually, all things considered, the album I'm reviewing in this video is actually one of Nickelback's more liked records, believe it or not. Yeah, and that is The State. Oh yeah. So what is The State? Well, it's basically Nickelback's more polished and shorter follow-up to Curb. It still follows basically the same formula as the debut, although it's a little bit more post-grunge rather than grunge. It's definitely still a lot different from what Nickelback are doing these days. Like, we still haven't reached the lyrical content of songs like Animals. Actually, instead, this is one of the most well-written Nickelback albums there are. Actually, I might go as far as saying it is their best album in terms of lyrical content. Sorry, having trouble speaking today. But yeah, some of the lyrics on this album are actually very well written. I mean, like, some serious time went into making them. Like, of course, it's nothing genius, but it's definitely very good as all things considered, especially if you look at what kind of material they came out in the future. So, I mean, some of the songs are actually pretty, complicated, actually. Like, I don't really understand all of the songs completely. I have some vague ideas, but nothing concrete. Like I said before, this album is shorter than their debut. It's actually Nickelback's shortest album, despite the fact that it basically uses one song twice. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah, this one clocks in at just under 39 minutes, which, I mean, if you're listening to this album, it just goes by like that. So, but it's still a very good record despite that. The album immediately starts off strongly with a great opening track, Breathe, which might just be my favorite on the record. I just love something about it. It definitely has to do with the amazing guitar work. I really like the intro, and I also just really like how catchy the chorus is. I mean, you really should give it a listen. It's definitely one of the best older Nickelback songs, and they actually recently performed it again at one of their shows, which is kind of cool. One of the most well-known songs on this album definitely has to be Leader of Men, which was one of the singles. It's one of Nickelback's first real hits, and it's definitely a very good song. Definitely one of the best on the record. It's right up there. Basically, what I really personally like about it is just how the song starts off really calm and slow, and it eventually just escalates into a big, huge clusterfuck, and I love it, man. Like, I really love the second half of this track. It really makes me want to headbang every time I listen to it. But there's actually something weird with the song Leader of Men on this album. It actually, the band members must have thought it was such a good song. They must have liked it so much that they decided to put it on this record twice. Yes, there are 2 times the song appears on this record. First, its normal version, and then also the very last track happens to be an acoustic version of Leader of Men. Now, I personally don't really know why they put it in. Like, I personally think the only reason it's in there is to make the album longer, because it's already short. And, well, I mean, it doesn't really add much. I mean, the acoustic version, I mean, it's nothing special, really. So, like I said, I really think they just really put it in there to, extend the length of the album. A nice little song, which was also one of the singles on this record, is Worthy to Say. I actually really like this one. For some reason, it just has something to do with the vocals. I think I really like the way Chad sings it. I think the vocals blend in very well with the instrumentals. The lyrics of the song deal with, I think, basically from what I gathered from it, about a bunch of people just doing shady things around the neighborhood, and eventually some of them get caught you get caught by the cops, and then you have to rat out some of your friends. I don't know, it's very weird, but definitely is just about some shady activities like selling drugs and doing some bad things, that, at least that's what I think. Of course, maybe you think something different about it, but that's my opinion. There's this very underrated song later, kind of in the middle of the record, One Last Run. Now, I personally don't really understand what it's about. At first, I thought it was something about, you doing one last thing with your friends or whatever, but it's just weird. Like I said before, I don't really understand all of the songs on this record. The songwriting is very complex, unlike a lot of Nickelback's recent stuff and stuff like that. But what I really like about One Last Run is just it's catchy, it has good guitar work, a nice riff all the way throughout, and that's what I really like about it. One song which I think I definitely do understand lyrically, it has some very dark songwriting on it, is Not Leaving Yet. Well, basically what it's about is, it's kind of simple. It's basically a song about, I'm pretty sure, you know, losing a loved one. Like, for instance, I'm pretty sure Chad wrote it about his grandmother, you know, when she was dying, basically. Like, it's, you have things about, like, it's not her time to die yet, you know, and like the rest of the family is grieving, and you're not gonna leave her yet, stuff like that. And I guess it can be very relatable for some people as well. And I know like I said, the lyrics are very dark, and it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the deeper songs on the record, and I really like it for that. One more song that definitely deserves a special mention has to be Hold Out Your Hand, which is the 10th track on the record. It's the song is about the prosecution of Jews during World War II. So yeah, as you can, the song is pretty damn dark, but it's a very awesome song. I mean, it's really unlike anything else you will hear from Nickelback. I mean, these days you won't really have a song quite like that. I mean, and if you know what it's about and you listen to it, the lyrics and stuff, it can be quite messed up though. And it's definitely, I think, one of the more underrated Nickelback songs, man. Definitely. And that's really all I have to say about this record. It's not much. I mean, it's pretty similar to Curb, but like I said, it definitely is more polished. You won't see all of the poor production here on this record like you did on the last one, which is very good. It actually sounds like it's made by professionals. You know, everything is better. I mean, still not really perfect. I mean, there are a few, there's some moments where you're like, but it's definitely a lot better than it was before. Of course, on this album, Brandon Kroger was replaced, who was, of course, the drummer on Curb, was replaced. I'm pretty sure, because Mitch Guindon was his first replacement. I'm pretty sure that Ryan Vickeda was the drummer on this record, because Mitch Guindon was kind of just a member of the band for a short period of time, but it doesn't matter. So, in short, what I have to say about this record, it's a very good one. Like I said, very short, which is just too bad, because it is a very good record. Like I said, in my opinion, it's the best written Nickelback album. It has some very good lyrical content, and it really seems like a lot of effort went into that, which is something that's really lacking these days with some of Nickelback's music. I really hope that the new album will have some deeper songs. Of course, Nickelback always have some meaningful songs, but it's just the songwriting itself is not really that deep. Like, it's kind of simple and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. But I mean, the new song "Feed the Machine" is good, and I do like. I'm actually quite a big fan of the songwriting on that. So let's just hope the rest of the album follows that same tone. But yeah, The State is basically, you know, it's a very good Nickelback album. Like I said, it's one of the few Nickelback records which actually not all people tend to completely hate. Like when some people talk about like how Nickelback sold out, they say that this was like their last good album. Basically, that's what they tend to say. Of course, that's not my opinion. I'm a huge Nickelback fan. I mean, look at that. I'm even wearing a Nickelback shirt right now. How corny is that? But yeah, this record definitely has a lot of underrated gems, I think. Like, of course, Hold Out Your Hand and One Last Run and Not Leaving It. Honestly, just a lot of good underrated songs, which some of you definitely should check it out. So I think this is definitely a clear improvement, a big step up from Curb. It's still not exactly my favorite Nickelback album, but it's definitely something which I won't mind listening to from time to time. So I'm gonna give this album a nice score of 7.5 out of 10. So better than the last, still not quite there yet. There's still better to come from the band. But yeah, that was it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, the next album review will be of Nickelback's third album, which is their breakout record, of course, Silver Side Up, which has some of their most well-known songs on it. Their most well-known song, but that's gonna be for the next video. Right now, this is it for now. My name is The Polish Gamer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.